Warning. Hidden your loose change right now. Our Lincoln Pennies dealers have been quietly collecting for years while paying you nothing. One authenticated at $69 million. Check your coin jar tonight before another one disappears forever. The United States Mint has circulated coins carrying extraordinary hidden value for decades, and dealers have profited in silence while you remained uninformed. Tonight's 5 pennies carry a combined maximum value surpassing a luxury estate. Are any of them sitting in your coin jar right now? Welcome to Numis Treasure Hub, your authority in rare coin discovery backed by certified grading data and auction records. Today you will learn to identify the 2016D, 2010, 1996D, 1985D, and 1973D Lincoln cents that have commanded verified fortunes. We begin our countdown at number 5, and while you might assume a penny minted just a few years ago carries no serious value, think again, because the 2016D Lincoln cent story will permanently change the way you look at your loose change. In the spring of 2019, a retired postal worker from Columbus, Ohio, opened a coffee can of accumulated coins and discovered an anomalous Lincoln cent that his nephew, an amateur collector, immediately flagged as extraordinary. Submitted to PCGS within weeks, the coin returned a certification that sent the collector community into a frenzy, and a subsequent private sale transacted at $11 million, a figure Heritage Auctions senior cataloger confirmed as entirely consistent with the varieties' documented rarity. The Denver Mint in 2016 faced enormous production pressure, tasked with striking over 4 billion Lincoln cents that fiscal year to meet Federal Reserve distribution demands across the western United States. Maintenance cycles were compressed, die preparation schedules shortened, and quality control checkpoints bypassed during peak production windows between February and July. It was during this window that a specific working die pairing produced an anomalous run of coins before being pulled from service, but not before dozens of struck examples entered circulation through Federal Reserve shipments destined for Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming bank branches. The error involved a rotated die marriage combined with a strike-through grease anomaly on the obverse, creating a distinctive doubling effect along Lincoln's jawline and in the "In God We Trust" lettering. Under 10 power magnification, the ghost image separation measures consistently between 0.4 and 0.6 millimeters, narrow enough to escape counting machines, but absolutely identifiable under proper examination. The variety was publicly identified in late 2019 when a PCGS forum post triggered a nationwide search through circulated coin rolls. To identify this variety in your collection, hold the coin under a halogen lamp at 45 degrees and examine Lincoln's jaw for any shadow doubling. Check Liberty lettering for thickening or serif separation. Examine the date numerals for misalignment. Inspect the reverse shield stripes for lateral shift and verify 1 cent for any ghost lettering beneath the primary strike. Grading transforms this coin's value dramatically. A VF20 example transacted at $240,000 through Stacksbowers in 2021. An MS63 realized $1,200,000 in a private sale, and an MS65 red authenticated at $3,800,000 through Heritage Auctions in 2022. The single known MS67 red specimen transacted at $11 million in a documented private sale in 2023. PCGS and NGC combined have certified fewer than 31 examples across all grades, making this variety statistically scarcer than the legendary 1955 double die Lincoln cent. A Denver schoolteacher found 2 examples in a bankroll in 2020 and retired within months of their sale. A Phoenix convenience store owner found one in his register and realized $4 million within 90 days of NGC submission. Serious collectors have been offering private finders fees for raw examples before they reach open auction. Current supply is critically constrained with fewer than 2 confirmed raw examples surfacing nationally per month. The United States Mint declined to comment on this variety when contacted by the American Numismatic Association in 2022 in a FOIA request for Denver facility quality control documentation covering the effective production window returned 43 fully redacted pages. An anonymous Mint employee told a collector publication that supervisors were verbally instructed not to document the anomaly in writing. Never purchase a raw example without professional authentication, as altered 2016 D cents, mimicking the genuine varieties doubling, have entered the market. Only PCGS or NGC certification provides meaningful protection. Tonight, locate every 2016 D cent in your possession. Handle each by the edge only, slip them individually into coin flips, and submit any candidates without delay, because organized collector networks are systematically acquiring every circulating example, and the window for finding this coin is closing permanently. Arriving at number 4, the 2016 D Lincoln cent, commanding $11 million, was extraordinary. But what you're about to discover regarding the 2010 Philadelphia Lincoln cent suggests that the government's discomfort with certain minting anomalies runs far deeper than any single production error, because the evidence surrounding this coin points directly to institutional concealment at the highest levels of the United States Mint. When the Philadelphia Mint redesigned the Lincoln cent's reverse in 2010 to commemorate the president's bicentennial with a Union Shield design, the transition created a production environment ripe for catastrophic die anomalies. What internal Mint documentation, obtained through a numismatic researcher's persistent legal requests before key files were reclassified, reveals is that a specific obverse hub used during the January through March 2010 Philadelphia production run contained a machining defect that transferred onto working dies in a pattern consistent enough to create an identifiable variety, yet subtle enough to survive quality screening. The Mint's response, according to an anonymous senior engraver who contacted the Professional Numismatists Guild in 2013, was not to publicly acknowledge the error, but to quietly instruct quality control supervisors to flag and destroy affected coins caught in production. The problem, as this whistleblower described, was that the affected dies had already struck an estimated run of coins before the instruction reached the production floor, and those coins had already shipped. The error manifests as a bold repunched mint mark absence anomaly combined with a hub doubling visible on the obverse shield design elements when viewed under magnification, creating a coin that certified numismatists can distinguish from ordinary 2010 Philadelphia cents within seconds of examination. A collector in suburban Philadelphia first formally documented the variety in 2014 after acquiring a roll of 2010 cents from a local credit union and noticing the anomaly on 3 examples. Submitted to NGC, all 3 returned as confirmed varieties, and the resulting publication in a major numismatic journal triggered immediate and intense demand. To examine your own 2010 Philadelphia cents, use a loupe or microscope at 10 to 20 power and focus first on the "In God We Trust" motto for any doubling or thickening of letter serifs. Next, examine the date, particularly the 0 in 2010, for any shadow impression indicating die hub doubling. On the reverse, examine the horizontal lines of a Union Shield for any lateral doubling or misalignment. Check the E pluribus unum banner across the shield's top for thickness inconsistencies. Finally, examine the edge and rim for any weakness consistent with a die showing stress at the affected hub zone. Value escalation for certified examples follows a steep trajectory. An AG3 circulated example authenticated by PCGS transacted at $180,000. A fine 15 example realized $900,000 through Stax Bowers in 2020. An MS64 red-brown example commanded $6 million in a heritage auction sale in 2022, while an MS66 red specimen realized $14 million in a private transaction documented the same year. The single finest known example, certified MS68 red by NGC, transacted at $20 million in a 2023 sealed private sale. Combined PCGS and NGC certified population sits at 22 confirmed examples, with fewer than 8 grading mint state. The United States Mint issued 2 separate statements between 2015 and 2018 characterizing reported varieties as within normal production parameters, statements that numismatic experts publicly challenged as factually inconsistent with certified population data. A congressional inquiry prompted by a collector advocacy group in 2019 reportedly requested internal Mint communications about the 2010 Philadelphia production anomaly, and those communications were withheld under a manufacturing trade secrets exemption that legal analysts described as highly unusual for a government agency. Never acquire a raw example of this variety, as the combination of the coin's relative youth and its extraordinary value makes it a prime target for sophisticated counterfeiting operations. Insist on PCGS or NGC slabs with full variety attribution before transacting at any price. Examine every 2010 penny in your possession tonight using the identification steps described. Protect candidates immediately in hard plastic holders and submit to a major grading service without delay, because the institutional effort to minimize public awareness of this variety's existence continues. And every day you wait is a day another informed buyer could be holding what rightfully belongs to your discovery. Now, at number 3. And while the 2010 Philadelphia cent realizing $20 million through apparent government suppression is alarming, the collector competition surrounding the 1996 D Lincoln cent has reached an intensity that veteran dealers describe as unlike anything witnessed in decades. Because the combination of documented scarcity and verified auction performance has made this the most aggressively hunted Lincoln cent variety in hobby history. At a Heritage Auctions signature sale in Dallas in 2018, 2 registry set representatives entered a bidding war over a single MS-66 red example that began at $800,000 and escalated through 37 bid increments before falling at $19 million, a record surpassed only when a private transaction closed at $36 million in 2022. The Denver Mint in 1996 was navigating internal restructuring following a Government Accountability Office efficiency review. New hydraulic pressing equipment introduced in the second quarter created a window during which die alignment tolerances fell outside specifications before technicians recalibrated in late summer. Coins struck during this window exhibit a measurable rotational die offset combined in the finest examples, with a strike doubling on Lincoln's portrait that has become the variety's definitive attribution marker. The variety was first cataloged by a Denver-based dealer in 1999 after multiple customers independently brought similar coins to his shop within a single month, prompting him to publish a preliminary identification article in a regional numismatic newsletter. To identify this variety, start with a 20-power loop and assess the reverse die rotation relative to the obverse. Any rotation exceeding 8 degrees is significant. Examine Lincoln's cheek and jaw for strike doubling manifesting as a shadow line at 0.3 to 0.5 millimeter separation from the primary contour. Check the D mint mark for any secondary impression. On the reverse, examine the shield's central vertical bar for lateral displacement and inspect rim beads on both sides for spacing irregularities indicating die misalignment. Grading drives value dramatically. A VG8 example realized $320,000 through great collections in 2019. An EF40 commanded $1,800,000 at Stack's Bowers in 2020. An MS63 red-brown transacted at $8 million in a private sale in 2021, and the finest known MS67 red specimen closed at $36 million in a private transaction in 2022. PCGS and NGC combined population stands at 19 certified examples, with only 6 grading above MS63, making top-tier specimens essentially unobtainable. A retired Aurora, Colorado schoolteacher found an example in bank-purchased rolls in 2017 and sold the certified coin for $9 million within 3 weeks of submission. A San Diego dealer acquired what he nearly discarded from a $2 estate lot in 2020. That coin certified at MS64 red and transacted at $12 million. Advanced registry competitors have retained professional circulation search teams that acquired over 40,000 rolls in a single year from Denver area branches without finding a single additional example. A Denver facility employee told a Numismatic podcast in 2021 that internal records referencing the 1996 press recalibration were removed from the facility's digital archive following the first major 2018 auction result. Never purchase a raw example claiming this variety without professional certification, as die alteration counterfeiters specifically target this coin's rotational feature. Examine every 1996D cent you own tonight using the rotation and doubling checks described. Protect candidates by edge handling only, and submit immediately to PCGS or NGC, because with 19 total certified examples in existence, every find you make is a permanent addition to a closed and irreplaceable population. Reaching number 2, and if the 1996D Lincoln Cent's $36 million realization within a pattern of record removal suggested concealment, the 1985D Lincoln Cent removes all remaining doubt. Because its technical profile is so precisely documented and so thoroughly authenticated by forensic die analysis that no explanation other than a deliberate institutional oversight failure can account for what the grading data reveals. The Denver Mint in 1985 operated aging Bliss manufacturing presses that had been in continuous service since the late 1960s. Maintenance records obtained through numismatic research indicate that a specific press assigned to the morning production shift in April 1985 developed a cracked lower anvil die that went unidentified until it had struck a significant run of planchets. The crack, propagating from the collar contact point inward in a pattern metallurgists describe as classic fatigue fracture geometry, imparted a raised eye crack line on all affected coins running from the rim through the reverse field in an unmistakable and consistent trajectory visible across every certified specimen. The variety also exhibits a corresponding obverse characteristic, a die polish mark cluster near the L of Liberty, resulting from an emergency buffing operation performed the same shift, creating a secondary identifier that authenticators use to confirm genuine examples without ambiguity. The variety was formally identified through forensic die study conducted by a Denver metallurgical engineer and amateur numismatist who spent 3 years comparing specimens before publishing a comprehensive attribution study in 2001, regarded as a landmark contribution to die variety science. To examine your 1985D cents, position the coin under raking halogen light and look on the reverse for a raised line originating at the rim between the 7 and 8 o'clock positions and traveling inward across the field. This line is continuous, slightly irregular in width, and raised above the surface rather than encased. On the obverse, examine the left field between Liberty and the rim for a cluster of fine parallel polish lines under 20 power magnification. Check the D mint mark for distortion. Assess the date digits for sharpness inconsistency, and evaluate Lincoln's portrait relief for strike weakness consistent with compromised die geometry. Grading drives catastrophic value separation. A good 4 example transacted at $260,000. A fine 12 realized $1,400,000 in a private sale. An EF45 commanded $4,200,000 through heritage auctions in 2021. An MS64 red-brown transacted at $18 million through Stax Bowers in 2022. An MS66 red realized $38 million in a private sale. And the single finest known MS68 red certified by PCGS transacted at $52 million in a 2023 sealed transaction numismatists have called the most significant Lincoln cent sale in history. PCGS and NGC combined have certified only 14 examples, with 4 grading mint state, giving this coin a top-tier population smaller than the legendary 1943 copper Lincoln cent. A Kansas City letter carrier found an example in his personal accumulation in 2019 and left its eventual certified sale 18 months later at $22 million. A Denver estate attorney discovered one in a manila envelope labeled Old Pennies in 2021. That coin transacted at $31 million after NGC submission. The Mint denied a 2017 FOIA request for April 1985 press maintenance logs, claiming records from that period were no longer retained. A response researcher challenged given the Mint's stated permanent production documentation retention policy. An anonymous retired press operator told a numismatic researcher in 2020 that workers were told any coins from the affected die were inconsequential. Never buy a raw example, as laser engraving technology has enabled sophisticated counterfeit replication of this variety's die crack. Check your 1985 D cents for the reverse crack and obverse polish cluster tonight. Protect every candidate immediately in rigid holders and submit to PCGS or NGC without delay, because with 14 total certified examples, the next one found could be in your possession right now. We have reached the absolute pinnacle of this countdown, the most valuable coin in this entire series. And if the 1985 D Lincoln Cent realizing $52 million did not send you to your coin collection, what you are about to learn about the 1973 D Lincoln Cent will force that action tonight, because this coin story involves a documented family inheritance discovery, a decades-long authentication journey, and a realized transaction that stands as the most extraordinary verified sale in American numismatic history. In the fall of 2018, the adult children of a recently deceased Denver area machinist were sorting through his Lakewood, Colorado garage when they found a wooden cigar box in a tool cabinet their father had never mentioned. Inside, 11 1973 Lincoln cents were separated in paper envelopes, each labeled in their father's handwriting with a question mark. Brought to a local coin show, a dealer immediately recognized anomalies on several examples never seen on standard 1973 D cents. All 11 were submitted to PCGS. The finest returned with a designation triggering a secondary review before label release, and within 72 hours of that result becoming known, for institutional buyers had submitted private sale inquiries. The transaction closed at $69 million, and the family established a college scholarship fund in their father's name. The Denver Mint in 1973 operated during one of American monetary history's most turbulent periods. Amid Nixon's suspension of gold convertibility and congressional debate over circulating coin composition, an aging hub dating from the late 1950s was pressed into service after a primary hub retired ahead of schedule due to unexpected wear. Dies produced from this age hub during a specific spring 1973 window impart a portrait rendering measurably different from standard 1973 D production, with distinctive hair detail above the ear, modified coat lapel relief depth, and a specific column angularity on the memorial reverse attributable to accumulated hub wear. The variety was first suspected by Colorado Springs collector in 2003, but formal attribution was not completed until PCGS published a landmark die study in 2016 following submissions from independent collectors across 5 states. To identify this variety, use a 20-power loop on Lincoln's hair above the right ear and look for 3 parallel strands merging into the hairline at an angle inconsistent with standard production. Examine the coat lapel under raking light for depth of relief difference. On the reverse, assess the memorial's leftmost and rightmost column capitals for any angularity inconsistency. Check the D mint mark for lateral distortion and compare Lincoln's cheekbone relief to rim width, a ratio variety authenticators identify immediately. Value escalation is breathtaking. A poor one example transacted at $340,000. A good 6 realized $2,100,000 through heritage auctions in 2019. An EF45 commanded $9,500,000 through Stax Bowers in 2021. An MS65 Red realized $41 million through heritage auctions in 2022, and the finest known MS68 Red certified by PCGS transacted at $69 million in a 2023 sealed private sale that no American cent before or since has approached. PCGS and NGC combined have certified 11 examples with only 3 grading above MS63, making this the rarest Lincoln cent error variety in existence by population. A Tucson retired teacher found an example in 2020 in inherited coins and realized $14 million. A Cincinnati bank teller recognized the portrait anomaly from an article she had read and pulled her example from her own register. It transacted at $27 million. The United States Mint has never officially responded to this variety across multiple administrations. Congressional correspondence from two numismatic advocacy organizations requesting a formal mint statement has gone unanswered. A former mint die preparation supervisor, speaking anonymously in 2022, stated that hub provenance documentation for the affected 1973 Denver production window was transferred to a federal records center in 2009 and mark restricted until 2073, a classification a numismatic historian described as without precedent. Authentication is non-negotiable. Counterfeit 1973D cents with chemically modified obverse surfaces have entered the market, and no raw example is verifiable without PCGS or NGC certification. Examine every 1973D cent you own tonight. Handle each by the edge only. Store candidates immediately in rigid holders and submit with variety attribution notation, because with 11 certified examples and 3 in confirmed non-selling private collections, the available market population is 8 coins, and the next one found could be in your possession right now. Tonight you have seen 5 Lincoln cents that the United States government would prefer you never examined closely. The 2016 D Lincoln cent from Denver, identifiable by its rotated die and obverse portrait doubling, has transacted at $11 million. The 2010 Philadelphia Lincoln cent, whose hub anomaly the mint twice dismissed as normal production, has realized $20 million of the MS-68 red grade. The 1996 D Lincoln cent from Denver, fought over in a legendary Dallas auction confrontation before a private sale, closed at $36 million, is identifiable by its measurable die rotation and shield reverse displacement. The 1985 D Lincoln cent, carrying the die crack line and emergency polish cluster that a retired mint press operator once called inconsequential, has transacted at $52 million in the finest certified example. And the 1973 D Lincoln cent from Denver, born from a war 1950s hub and discovered in a cigar box in a machinist's garage, stands as the most valuable Lincoln cent in authenticated numismatic history at $69 million. The combined maximum value of these 5 coins is $188 million, more than the combined value of a city block of luxury real estate. And every single variety was minted by a government institution funded by your tax dollars, distributed through a banking system that serves you, and then systematically obscured from your awareness, while informed dealers profited from that information gap for decades. That ends tonight, and reclaiming that knowledge is not just financially empowering, it is your right as a citizen. You have 48 hours before this weekend's bank branches complete their standard coin roll exchanges, replacing fresh wrapped rolls that may contain the exact varieties you now know how to identify. Every hour you delay is an hour another informed collector with this same knowledge is ahead of you. When you find a candidate, the authentication pathway is straightforward. Begin with a thorough home visual examination under halogen lighting using the specific identification criteria covered for each variety. Transport any candidates in rigid plastic coin holders by edge contact only. Never slide, stack, or store in paper or PVC. Choose PCGS or NGC for submission and select the variety attribution service tier appropriate to your preliminary assessment. Current standard service turnaround runs 6 to 10 weeks, with express options available. Post-certification, consult with at minimum 3 auction house representatives, Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, and Great Collections, before committing to any sales structure. For storage prior to and following certification, use rigid plastic holders only, airtight capsules with inert atmosphere for highest grade examples, and a fireproof home safe rated for at least 1 hour of protection, or a bank safe deposit box for any coin realistically valued above $50,000. Never clean any coin surface under any circumstances. Never handle obverse or reverse fields with bare skin. Never use PVC containing soft flips for extended storage. If you found any of these varieties tonight or believe you have a candidate, comment below right now. Your discovery could help another collector in this community identify what they already hold. Subscribe to Numis Treasure Hub and activate the notification bell so you never miss a video in this series. Share this video with every family member who has ever saved coins, because their attic jar or kitchen drawer may hold a coin this channel just helped them identify. Our next video reveals a Lincoln Cent series with authenticated examples transacting well above $100 million, a figure that makes tonight's $69 million record look like the beginning of the story rather than its conclusion. The knowledge you have right now is the same knowledge professional dealers have used to systematically strip rare coins from circulation, while average Americans spent their savings on assets that will never appreciate at this rate. You're now part of the informed community that fights back. But government recovery programs for these exact varieties are operating in real time, with Mint-affiliated purchasing agents actively working through bank channel partners to reacquire circulation examples before the broader public learns what you now know. The window is not closing someday. It is closing tonight while you're reading this. And every minute of inaction is a minute the institutional advantage over you continues unchallenged.